We get into how to set up your business bank accounts. You need to have an LLC, you need to have an S Corp or a C Corp or whatever before you do this. Let's be clear about this. Because in this video, I'm going to teach you how to set up your business bank accounts where you'll never go broke and you won't get ganked on chargebacks. Hey, this is Glenn. If you're not, you also need to be making some money for your business, because it's going to cost money, and if you're not making money, it's not going to make a lot of sense to you. Now, let's talk about the link. One of the things I've learned as a consultant is if people do not follow simple instructions, they're not going to follow complex instructions. If you don't click the link under the video, you're not going to find the special. And I've had people, it's like, oh, your link's broken. No, it's not broken. It's done intentionally. Also, if you call me and you don't follow instructions, I'm not calling you back. Because if you don't follow simple instructions, you're not going to follow complex instructions. All right, so let's just jump into it. Now, this is how you set up your business bank accounts. Now, there are some of you who have businesses who are going to tune this out and like, I'm already set. And from what I have discovered, many of you who've had businesses for 2, 3, 4 years, and if you don't have employees, especially, you don't do this. So what you're going to have is 5 accounts. 5. First account, it will be your merchant debit account. That will be the account that you receive your PayPal, your Square, your merchant account. Any credit card processing goes straight to that account. And typically, if you sign up with a traditional credit card processor, they're going to want a hard copy of a business check to make sure that you have a business account. But if you sign up online, typically they don't ask for that stuff. Now, why do you want to have this account? And then with this account, you're not getting a debit card. You're not even getting checks. You don't need it. This account is only to receive money. That's it. You don't pay bills, nothing. Now, why do you have this account? It is a container of risk. If you take credit cards, at some point you're going to have a chargeback. It's just going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And to protect yourself and to give yourself more time to deal with the chargeback, if you have an account that doesn't have any money, sometimes the bank will pay the chargeback, sometimes they won't. But essentially, it does not create this cascade of bounce checks, bounce debits, which cost you fees. So that's the reason for doing that. Now, the second account you're going to have is your operating account. That is what you pay your hosting with. Anything that's related to the business from an operational standpoint, that is what you put in that account. So if you have Aweber, and that's $29 a month, and you have a whole, let's just say for your internet business, you got $1,500, $2,000 a month of things that have to be paid. That money would go into your operational account. If you have a physical business, and let's say your monthly nut is $20,000, $30,000, that money goes into your operating account, because that's what you need for operations, okay? Then your second account is expenses. These are things that do not come up all the time. See, operation, money, and expenses are 2 different things. So let's say you got to fly to a conference. That's an expense, not a normal expense, but it's a business expense. So that money would come from that account. Then your other account after that would be savings. Yes, you will have a savings account, because once you start making extra money, you'll have a place to tag that extra money. It's already set up, and boom. Then the next account that you're going to have is a payroll account. Even if you do not have employees, you will set the payroll account up. Now, why would you do that? Well, simple. At some point, you want to have employees. So if you start taking some money now, and by the time you get to the point where you need employees, let's just say you have 3, 4, 5 months of salary in that account. That money doesn't have to come out of operation money, doesn't have to come out of expense money, doesn't have to come out of any of that money because it's already set aside. So you've got your debit account, operation account, expense account, savings account, and payroll account. This is going to cost you nothing, depending upon your bank and your relationship, up to $500. Now, once you spend the $500, you can just shelter it around in the account, so it doesn't really matter. Once you set up the accounts, you can go ahead and pull that $500 out if you need it, and you may have to pay monthly maintenance fees. So you need to ask some questions of your bank. Hey, if I set this business account up, do I get free checking? And sometimes they'll say if you leave $1,500, $2,500, yes, no fees. But once it drops below that, they will be tagging you with fees. All banks are different, so shop around. If you already have a relationship with the bank and you've been a good customer, you can talk to the branch manager and possibly get those fees waived. Just to note, the branch manager can approve credit cards. Yes, they can do that. They can do a lot of things for you. Just if you're not making any damn money and you don't have any money in the bank and the bank can't make money off of you, these services will not be available to you. And that's the only reason I found out is because at one point, years and years ago, we had over $1 million cash in one account, plus we had some more money coming in. And I was in the bank and the manager was like, psst, just like that, psst, let me talk to you. And I was just sitting there like, okay, strange little Jewish woman, why are you at me, right? And she's like, I'm just messing with you because I was always coming in, you know, a little grouchy. And all right, I'll be honest, I used to flirt with her ass because she was hot. And, you know, she was flirting back that day. And then no, it was because of my rugged good looks. It was because there was $1 million cash. I kind of assumed, I put it together. So we get in and she goes ahead and she just drops these bombs and just tells me all of these things that are now available to me. And I've been banking with them for quite a while. So once you get some loot and you start to stack some loot, a lot of things will be available to you as a business owner. Now let's talk about these 5 accounts. You're only going to have a debit card for the expense account. You will not have a debit card for payroll. No, just one debit card for the expense account. Why? Because you're only going to be withdrawing expenses. You should not be withdrawing any of that money. You know, because a lot of your stuff is going to come from a credit card, and I'm going to tell you how you can do that in a minute. Because what you can do is, you know, let's say you use your personal credit card, right, for your expenses, and each month for all those expenses, you will write a check from that operation account to your credit card or transfer the money to your personal account. I would recommend a check, and for this reason, because when you write the check, you could be going, this money is for expenses for the month of March to repay credit card. So there's a very clear and precise chain. Transfers can get dicey, but a check from your credit card company, saying, you know, with it spelled out for your account, makes stuff super, 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 super easy. You do the transfers, it can get a little fucked up. You can have a nightmare on your hands. So you would write that check from the operating account to your credit card company and mail it in. Or you could pay from that account online. Just make sure you keep good records, because the check is the simplest and the easiest record that the Internal Revenue Service will not challenge. Transfers, because this is the thing. Let's say you do it right 10 months out the year, then 2 months you do it wrong. They will ping your ass on those 2 months you did it wrong. But each month you write a check and it goes here. It's clear, it's precise, and you're protected. Once you get the accounts open, I'm about to teach you the ratios that you put money in. Now, if you have a brand new business and you're not, you know, this is going to be easier. If you don't have a lot of hard cost, you'll just put 20% in each account. So you get $100, $20 goes into each account. Now, simple. That will change based upon your needs. But this is where the magic happens. If you only keep the money in the accounts that the accounts need, you'll always have money. You'll never be broke. Because what it is a laddering system, and it promotes discipline. So you're in there, you have, like driving all crazy. So you're in there and you have your money. Okay, you got your account set up. You got your money going in. You have a business. And you don't really know, because you kind of have a general idea. What you're going to do is put 80% of the money that comes in the operational account, and you're going to put 5%, well, let's see, the 20% divided by 5, like 5% in the rest of the accounts. And as you go through the ebb and flow of your business, you're going to push as hard as you can to get to 20%. Now, this is the game. This is the magic. Let's say your monthly expenses from your operating account are $5,000. So you're going to push to put 5 G's in all 5 accounts, right? So that's 25 grand a month. Now, if you manage to make 25 grand a month, but it only cost you $5,000 a month to run your business, you've got 20 grand in other accounts. You do this month after month, month after month. You'll start to experience something calling having more money than you need. All of the time. You'll pay all of your bills. You'll start playing this game. First the month comes, you'll just pay everything immediately because the money is in the operation account. You'll just pay it. Boom, done. Then you'll look up 6 months down the road. You got 100 G's in the bank. Maybe 200 G's, depending upon your business model. And your bills are paid, and you have all of this money. And that's pretty much how it works. It's, I'm being very simple because it is that simple. It's about discipline, and it's about setting goals and pushing. Because once you do this, it's going to change your business forever. Because I've talked to some really smart people who just don't do this, and it's just not set up. They may have ledger accounts and everything, but having these 5 accounts. Now, let's just go with, I already told you what's happening with the debit account. And you're only going to have a debit card for operations, and you're going to have checks for operations. That's it. Well, okay, you'll have a debit card for expenses. My bad. You'll have 2 debit cards, one for operation, one for expenses. You might need checks for expenses depending upon your business model. So you'll have checks. But the rest of the accounts, no checks, no debit. Well, going back to the payroll, you will have to have checks, or you'll have to get set up with ADP or one of those payroll, unless you want to do it yourself, which means you'll have to have checks. But you don't have to buy checks for that account until you get employees. So if you already got employees, then you already have a checking account. And you won't have a debit card for that. And let's talk about these payroll accounts. Let's be really real about this. That money, if I'm going to speak from experience as someone who was living on the seat of my damn pants. You want to, thank you, kind person. You want to have 2 to 3 months of payroll money in that account. That way, if you have a shitty month, everybody gets paid. Because if you want to have a mutiny on your hands, if you want to have people stalking you, oh yeah, and it's illegal, and you want to go to jail for not paying people, because you hear this thing about it's like a civil suit. To trick people into working and not paying is illegal. And if the right person files the right complaint, they can come get your ass. So, just saying. By having that kind of proactive mindset, you set your business in a calmer, more sane, and productive enterprise to make you a lot of money. So Okay, that's pretty much it. It can get a little deeper depending upon if you've got real estate, and that's just, but typically the 5 accounts will cover most businesses or all businesses during the early stages. As you grow and you need your needs grow, your resources grow, your requirements grow, then yeah, other accounts can come into play. There's other things you can do, but those 5 accounts for right now should get you set up very nicely. So if you're a business owner